Hey guys, thanks for joining our team call today. We are going to talk about creating a follow-up system. I know that if you were on last week's call, we kind of touched bases on the importance of why you need to follow up. This week, myself and then a couple other coaches on the team are going to share their systems for actually implementing that system of follow-up. Because we brought up all these great ideas and good points of why you should be following up. If you don't have a system in place for you to actually implement them, it's not going to do you any good. So hopefully you'll learn a couple systems or different ways that you can apply to your business style in order to get something that works for you. So I'm going to show you how I do it through Google Docs using Google Drives and Google Sheets. Christine is going to show you how she uses her follow-up system through Asana. And Jody's also going to talk about how she does it just with plain old pen and paper. So there's so many different ways that you can follow up. The important part is that you find a system that speaks to you, that speaks to how you function, and then you implement it. Don't just, create it, but actually go forward and use that system for yourself. We touched on last week the importance of follow-ups and why it is really, the essential make or break of our business. And we touched on all these sales statistics. And I just brought them back up so that you can kind of remind yourself. But the biggest point of that is that most people are not following up consistently. And if you look at those statistics on that last page, it says that over 50% of people don't follow up at all. So most people are not following up, but most prospects are not likely to commit unless you do follow up. So it shows you that there's this huge disconnect. Most of us coaches aren't following up, but most of the people that we're trying to reach will not purchase anything unless we do follow up. And so there's just this big disconnect of what I'm doing and what they need me to do aren't connecting. And so until we get that magic together in the follow-up, it's going to be very difficult for us to see any sort of success in our business. So the moral of the story is if you want your business to grow, you must follow up. And you must have some sort of system of follow-up that is going to work for you, that you can implement according to your style. So I want to show you really briefly the system that I use. I have a Gmail account. All of my stuff is in Gmail. So I want to show you how I use integrate all of this within my Google Sheets or my Google Docs. All of this is going to be accessed in my Gmail email account. When you go to the Google Drive, all of this is going to be located in your Google Drive. Once you get into your Google Drive, you'll see here I have highlighted Google Sheets. That's basically the Excel spreadsheet kind of look that you're going to look for. You can do it in Docs, you can do it in slides, you can do it in whatever method works for you. For me, Google Sheets seems to make the most sense because it's most organized like an Excel spreadsheet. You can manipulate it very similar to an Excel spreadsheet. And so it seems to make the most sense to me. The reason why I also like to use Google Drive is because I'm able to access it from any computer, my iPhone, my iPad, whatever, anywhere that I am. If I have it, saved internally on my computer or my phone, I can't access it unless I have that device with me. By having the Google Sheets and the Google Docs, wherever I am, I can log into my Gmail account and pull this up. I can also share the drive with other people. So if I wanted to, share my system with another coach or show them how I'm following up or ask my assistant, someday if I get an assistant and I want to share with her her follow-up or show her how I'm following up. All of this is easily accessible in one place for them. So this is why I chose Google Docs. Google Sheets. So this is in your Google Drive, pop up Google Sheets. The first step you're going to need to do is to create a contact list. Now this is going to be a varying degree of steps on however you have yourself organized at this point. If you've never created any sort of contact list, this may take you quite a bit of time, but I strongly encourage you to do it. Even if you're not going to implement any of these systems that we talk about tonight, this contact sheet is going to be vitally important for you to know who you're talking to, who your prospects are, who your current customers are, everybody. So I suggest you always have some sort of master contact list. People that you're talking to, people that you need to talk to, whatever, because there's, 7 billion people in this world. I guess only 400,000 or 400 million of them could be Beachbody customers. But the point is, if you don't know who these people are and how you're tracking them, you're never going to be able to make sense of it. So I like to keep mine pretty simple. I will enter their name. I mean, the first, like the columns here you'll see are very simple. Their name, their email address. I do their email address because for me, email is going to be the easiest particularly when I'm integrating it from the Google Drives. But you can also have whatever system of contact that you have for them. So if you are typically contacting them on Facebook Messenger or on Instagram direct message or Snapchat or whatever you're doing, add that information there as well. So if they talk to you through Snapchat, don't make it weird and all of a sudden start emailing them. Continue that. Whatever is going to work for not only you, but for them as well. The next thing that I think is important to have on there is some sort of memory jogger. Here, if I have 3 people on my list, it's going to be pretty simple to remember who these 3 people are. But as you continue to grow your list, and this list is something that you should constantly be adding to and rarely taking away from. I would say that you would only take away from, and we'll talk about that, a little bit more, unless they tell you never contact me again, you're spam, I'm deleting you from my contact list, which I think is going to be very rare to begin with. But you should be constantly adding people to this list. So I have 3 people on here now, but the list is going to start to grow. And as it grows, it's going to be more confusing for you. As you meet new people, you may not remember them. So I like to have some sort of memory jogger category. And you can call it whatever you want, but this is just something that helps you remember who this person is, what they talk to you about, and why are we talking to them? How do you know them? So, Ava, I met her in the grocery store. She's friends with my Aunt Cindy. You might say, I met this person in a Facebook group. They're from San Diego, or she's in, my child's group. She goes to cheer camp with me, whatever. She has red hair, whatever makes you think of this person that jogs your memory of who they are. And you can update this. I suggest that you update this as well if there's things that will help you not only jog your memory, but kind of ignite new conversations. So if you, met Ava in the grocery store, she's friends with your Aunt Cindy, she just became pregnant, maybe put that in there, because now it reminds you that, hey, you can push the active maternity on her. You might want to talk to her about Shakeology as a prenatal. So that's just kind of your contact, your memory jogger category. The next category that I think you should have is just some sort of initial contact category. And all of these are kind of up to you, but I would say that you want somewhere where you have at least when I initially had some sort of general contact with this person. It gives you a frame of reference of how long you've known them, and when the conversation started. I would keep this at when the contact started with Beachbody. So even if it's someone you went to high school with, you're not going to put the initial contact is, met in 9th period geometry. You're going to just say when you had, she reached out to me on the 4th of February about 21 Day Fix. How detailed you want to make this depends on what works for you. Me just putting initial contact, that date works, but if you want to say, I contacted them or they reached out to me, we were talking about the 21 Day Fix, whatever works for you. And then I'll set a follow-up date. Now, this is going to change based on the next steps that we talk about, but the follow-up date is something that what I like to put is the next date that I know that I need to follow up with this person. So for all of these people, I'm following up with them on May 5th or May 6th. And the reason why I like to do it this way is because One, you have some sort of consistency when you're following up with people. So whether or not you like to follow up on a certain schedule, for me, I like to follow up with people. I take Friday. I can do an hour or 2 hours on Friday to follow up with people. If you like to follow up with people, 2 or 3 people a day, whatever works for you, but set some sort of consistency in your follow-up schedule. So follow up, put that schedule there. Another reason why I like Google Docs, and because this is a screenshot, it won't let me do it, but you can manipulate this like an Excel spreadsheet. So if you wanted, you could click on that column and organize it by the date. And so it'll bring up, you could bring up the closest dates first. So, no matter when you've initially contacted these people or what their name is or alphabetically or whatever, it's going to bring up the people that you need to follow up with first. So that's something that I like, is you can manipulate the columns however you want. And then if you wanted, you can go back and reset it. It's all up to you. And then the next category for me is I just call what I'm following up with them with. I follow a system that Alexa Campbell taught us at the Team Triceps retreat. She does a certain set of drafts and follow-ups. So I've titled those drafts and follow-ups those same things. So I know on that date, on this Friday the 6th, I'm going to send them follow-up 1. That's what I've called the draft. That's what I'm going to send to them. And then the last one that I have in this column is the status or the progress. And that's just, again, kind of a memory jogger sort of thing that we've been talking about. The last thing she said to me is she was interested in the 21-day fix, but her objection was the price. Or the last time I followed up with her, she ignored me. Just something to kind of let you know where the conversation is. Now, most of us if we're doing the email system, we can go back and read the messages, but this is just a quick little cheat sheet for yourself. So that's step 1, is creating some sort of contact list. This can take a while, especially if you have things on pen and paper, or you are screenshotting your Instagram friends, or however you want to integrate this. But take your time. I think it's worth it. I think it's valuable to do it. So on to step 2. So step 2 is moving into the initial follow-up. So that's the system I use on Google Docs. I'm going to briefly talk about just the system of follow-ups that I do. And then Christina will talk about how she does it in Asana, or what is it called? Asana, something like that. But she will talk about her system. But I just want to briefly go through the steps with you on what my follow-ups look like. And then what I'll do is, after this, I'll also just post all of these kind of drafts, these scripts for you. And any of these are examples. Obviously, use your own voice. Most of this I learned from Alexa again. So started with her voice. It's not me. So then I had to manipulate it, change it to how I would talk. So use these as examples. But your initial follow-up, you want to aim for 5 to 10 days after you've made that initial contact. And that really depends on, what schedule you follow for yourself. Like I said, for me, it works best. Fridays at my normal job are pretty slow. And so I know that I'll have a dedicated hour or two to just pump out all of these follow-ups. So for me, Friday's the day that I do it. You might choose to, the last 10 minutes of your power hour, all you do is follow-ups, or however you want to do it, Mondays and Tuesdays or whatever. Do something that works for you. Find a schedule that works for you, and then schedule those follow-ups in that system. In this initial follow-up, I also like to remind them of the initial contact. Not only are we meeting tons of people, but the people that we come in contact with, they're likely doing the same thing. So I want to remind them of how they know me. And it makes them seem like they're a priority to you, and you're continuing to form that relationship with them. So here's an example of how I would do one of these follow-ups. And these are just drafts. Change it however you want to. Talk in your own voice, but I just say, hey, Amy, it's super casual. Like, how are you? What are you doing this weekend? I just wanted to follow up and see with you if you had thought any more about getting started on your health and fitness goals. From your first email, it sounded like you're ready to make a change and finally get started. I would love to help you out. Are you ready to get started? It's very simple, very open-ended. I've asked her a couple of questions talking about health and fitness, but also something else generally. So if she wants to kind of be evasive around the subject, she can just answer, hey, I'm going wine tasting with my family this weekend, blah, blah, blah. And so I can kind of gauge how she wants to respond or how she responds. I can see how serious she is about her health and fitness goals based on that response. So see how she chooses to respond, what she chooses to focus on, or she may not answer me at all, whatever. But you're going to leave it pretty simple, pretty open-ended. It gives her two or three different points to respond to, and it lets them take control of the conversation. You might say something like, what are your goals, blah, 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 blah. It lets them take control of this conversation. It's not too direct where they feel pressured, like they have to respond, or because a lot of times when people feel that way, they'll just flat out ignore. It's very casual. And so it creates that open-endedness where they want to continue that conversation with you. And then I'll follow up. I'll update my system based on if she responds, whatever. Then I'll go to the next step. The second follow-up I would do with somebody is, again, 5 to 7 days after I've done that initial follow-up. Between each of these steps, I'm going back to my contact list or my spreadsheet and updating the progress. So after I've sent the initial one, I'll go back and I'll say, okay, the next thing I need to do is send that second follow-up, and I'm going to set it on this date. So it's usually 5 to 7 days or 5 to 10 days after the initial follow-up. And the reason why we're kind of spacing it out then is it's enough time where it doesn't feel like we're poking them or constantly like, hey, are you ready? Hey, are you ready? Hey, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? It gives them enough time to breathe. But it's not too much time where they feel like you've forgotten them. So we're continuing to form and engage. We want to be interested in what they're doing. In this follow-up, I like to kind of go through their most recent posts over those 5 to 10 days, see what they're up to, and include those things in that follow-up. So it lets them know that it's not just a stock kind of, time to follow up with you, even though it is, but you're letting them know that you're interested in their life, you want to engage with them. So in this example that I did, I said, hey, how you doing? I saw it was Emma's birthday. So I went through her post. I saw that her daughter had a birthday. It shows her that I'm following her. So not only is she seeing what I'm doing, but I'm watching her. And it makes people feel that you really are committed to what they're engaged in, what they're doing. But it also lets them know that you are watching their healthy habits as well. So you would be a great person to provide accountability, because not only do I see that, you're at your daughter's birthday party or you went on vacation this week, but I saw that you had that milkshake, or I saw that you went to that restaurant. It lets them know that you would be a great accountability partner because you know what's going on in their life. And then with this second follow-up, too, I like to create a sense of urgency. And I use urgency loosely here because we don't want to ever, make it. I think that what we hear sometimes, like, only one spot left. People kind of are like, no, you don't. You have like as many spots as you want. Like, you'll always take another customer, kind of thing. But we are creating a sense of urgency in the fact that, look, I'm telling you that I'm busy. I value my time. I want you to value your time and my time as well. I have a group starting Monday. I'd love to have you in it. I can't wait to hear from you. You could include something like, I'll check back on Wednesday. Things that create urgency, create a timeline for them, but don't sound pushy is, I think, the point of this. So letting them know you're watching them, you're ready for them to get started. Can't wait to hear from you. It lets them know, come back to me, respond. I didn't do it in this response, but you should include something that's a prompt for them to respond to. So have something along the lines of, what are your goals or whatever, something where they feel inclined to respond. And then the next step, so again, then I'll go follow up with whatever she said, reset my timelines. The next follow-up, the third follow-up. And I know at this point people are going, oh my gosh, I'm following up 3 times. This person's going to think I'm crazy or annoying. They won't, because every time I'm changing the script, I'm adding to the script, I'm making it different. I'm getting engaged and involved in something else where it doesn't seem naggy. It doesn't seem like I'm pestering them. Keep in the back of your mind, if you feel like you're annoying somebody, you are. So avoid those types of conversations. These are not going to be annoying. And if this person sees that you're annoying, they weren't ready for the help anyway. Write them off. Go find somebody else that you can help. Focus on those people. But this third follow-up is going to be another 5 to 10 days after you've done that second follow-up. So these are all pretty much in that first month that you're meeting this new contact. You're going to continue to form and engage. So again, go through their most recent information. Keep up to date with what they're doing. In this email, I would include more of a push toward urgency. So we kind of left it a little vague in that second follow-up email, and this email, I would push it a little bit more. So I have an upcoming challenge group starting Monday, or we're doing a clean eating group that starts Thursday. Do you want in? There's only one spot left. I want to save you a spot. Something that creates that urgency for them that's more urgent, I guess, than the last email that we had. You also can call them out on things that they've brought up to you. So I know your vacation is in 2 weeks, or I know that, the family reunion on Memorial Day is coming up. Are you ready? So it lets them know that their goals that you've been paying attention to, they're coming up. So I hope you're ready. Your wedding's next Thursday, or your wedding's next Saturday, whatever. Let them know that you're following up and create that urgency for them. I like to add on this email, because it's the third one that we followed up with them kind of in the same month, are you still interested in joining? And I think this is a great one to include here, because at this point, most of us are starting to feel, wow, I followed up 3 times. She still hasn't positively responded, or maybe she's ignored me all 3 times. By leaving this here, it gives them almost an out. So if they want to respond, no, I'm not still interested, then you know that the next email you send is, okay, that's cool. Like when you're ready, reach out to me. Or if they say, no, please take me off your email list, So it gives you, it lets them put the ball in their court, I guess, and tell you exactly how they feel about it. So that's why I like to add that, are you still interested, kind of on this email. And then I'll go ahead, I'll follow up, I'll update my system. The fourth follow-up that I'll do, this one is usually another month, or it could be, I would say 30 to 60 days after I've done that third follow-up that we just talked about. And I would almost call this the last chance kind of one. And it's not necessarily ever going to be the last chance, but because they've not made it a priority in their life, you don't need to make it a priority in your life anymore. So I don't think it's beneficial that you keep emailing them every week if they haven't responded, or they haven't responded positively, because it's kind of a waste. Not a waste of your time, but it's maybe not the most beneficial use of your time at this point to keep sending those reminders. So I would create this last chance for them and say, hi, I'm just following up one more time. I want to let you know that I run these groups every month. I know now might not be the right time for you, or whatever's going on in your life. When you're ready, I'm ready. Good luck with everything. You've ended it on a positive note. It's not just, thanks for ignoring me. See you later. Good luck with Advocare. Bye. You've kept it open. You've kept it positive. You let them know that you're still there for them whenever they're ready. And it kind of lets them know, hey, I'm not going to keep bugging you, but I'm here when you need me. And so again, it puts the ball in their court, but it lets them know that you're not giving up on them. You're going to continue to watch after them and follow up. And then the next step that I do, then I'll go back. Again, after all these steps, update my chart, update my contact list, let myself know that, she wasn't interested, whatever, but I'm going to set some future follow-ups. When I do future follow-ups, I never give up unless they've made it very clear that they do not want me to follow up anymore. And I think it's very very rare that people are going to do this, but if they say, you know, do not contact me ever again or take me off your list or whatever, that's really the only time I would completely remove them from my list. I may not keep them at the top, but I'm going to keep them on there. You're going to keep them on your radar. What I would do at that point is rate their level of interest on how often you are going to follow up. If they've kind of, you know, communicated to you, hey, I'm going to try, you know, the wraps instead, and I don't really care, and Shakeology is a bunch of BS and I don't care anymore, maybe put them in a 1 and only follow up with them, you know, on their birthday next year. But if they've said, you know, yeah, now's not a good time, I just, you know, for whatever reasons, I still want to do the 21-day fix, but I just can't do it right now. Put that on there and rate their level of interest so that, you know, the next time the 21-day fix goes on sale, that's when you can follow up with them. So that's where I said note their objections and then follow up with when appropriate. So create a system for you where you know when you can follow up. When is appropriate, I think depending on their rating of interest, you can follow up on their birthday because Facebook's always going to remind you who's there. So you can just check in with those people, follow up with people. Like I said, if they've expressed interest in a particular program, when it goes on sale, follow up with them. Big life events, you can follow up with them. They get married, they, you know, are going on vacation, whatever. And usually these are things that are going to be pretty predominant in their Facebook feed that they talk about a lot. So you'll know what these kind of key events are for them. If they're constantly talking about this big vacation that they're going on or this cruise, you know that you can follow up with them and say, hey, I heard you're going on this cruise in 21 days. Just to let you know, the 21-day fix is on sale. So it creates an appropriate level of follow-up for you so that you're not nagging them, but you're not wasting your time and resources following up. So that's my system. I'll pull this one up again just real quick to show you again what my little chart looks like. But at the end of each of these contacts, what I would do is just update it. So where it says follow-up date, I would then change the date of when I'm following up with them, and then the follow-up with, I would change this column to what I'm following up with them. And these columns are totally something that you can change to work with whatever works for you, but this is how I do it in Google Docs. So I'm going to turn off my screen share now and let Christina share with you, because she's going to share how she does the similar system, but she's going to show you a different technique or database on how you can organize yourself. And like I said, like I said, the other thing is at the end of this presentation, what we'll do is we'll upload all of our scripts so you can see these things, how we use them, so that you have them as your resources as well. But I will stop my screen share and let her take the show.
Okay. So let me share my screen. First of all, I use Asana, and hold on just a second. Why isn't it showing up on my thing? For some reason. Hold on just a second. It's not showing up to share. Okay, there it is.
Is it because I'm recording or no?
Nope, it's because I didn't have it up.
Okay.
Okay, can you see my Asana? Okay, so this is Asana, and it is 100% free. The only thing that costs, I think, is to upgrade, and that is to get projects over here. I think there's a limited amount of projects. I have a ton right here, so I'm pretty sure, and I even had more than that, so I'm pretty sure it's still, you'll still be fine. It's also an app on your phone, which is what I have also, and that helps me when I'm not at my computer, because I do have it on my app or on my phone. As far as the scripts go, I use essentially the same as Nicole. I do change them, obviously, to sound like me, but they're all the same urgency is placed on the same one, the same like 30-day one. I do that exact same thing. I do have 4 challenge group type scripts, and then 4 coach inviting to the team type scripts. So I kind of divide them up into that way. I divide it up into a coach, and then I divide it up into the challenge group. So this is what I'm not going to go into Asana. I'm not going to go into how it works. I'm just going to go into the follow-up. So these are your projects over here. So my follow-ups are right here. So obviously I don't have any right now. I kind of deleted them because I'm doing it a little bit differently now. But what you do is you just click on the first line, and then what you would do is you would type in the name of your person that you want to follow up with. So let's just say we're going to follow up with Sally Sue. We just sent her an invite. What you do immediately is go into your Asana, and you can even do this on your phone. Go into your Asana, type in your person, and then over here on the side is a description. So you can put invited to challenge group, May 2nd, and say interested in 21 Day Fix. So I would do that. Then what I would do is you assign it to yourself. You put a due date. Say, so I invited her on Monday. I do all of my follow-ups on Wednesdays. I do all of my inviting on Monday and Tuesday, and then I do all my follow-ups on Wednesday. I wouldn't give her only 2 days to respond. I'm going to give her a little bit more time. So I'm going to follow up with her on May 11th, okay? So that's what you would do. And it will, when you pull up your Asana, your tasks over here, it will show up over here in your to-do list. It will pop up as something that you need to do on May 11th. So it will just show up there. You don't have to sort them. You don't have to do anything. It will just show up. So then you can go back into your follow-up. Say you already had someone in here. Say you had this Brittany from, and you can even add their Instagram names if you know that they're on Instagram. You could put Brittany, you can put messaged, why can't I spell? On Instagram, and then put her IG name, maybe you can put anything you need to right here to remind you of your conversation, of what they wanted. But then you can say, okay, I did follow up number 1 with her on, I don't know, let's say I did it on Wednesday. So that would be 5/4. Okay. So then she ignored me. So then obviously 5/4. Okay. So rewind. I followed up with her on 5/4. So I sent her a follow-up. My Asana said you need to follow up with her on 5/4. I sent her that. I immediately come in here and change my due date to May 11th. Okay? So that will tell me what pops up in my task list. I can come over here and I can pull up the description. I can say, okay, I did follow-up number 1 with her. So now on Wednesday, the 11th, I need to do follow-up number 2 with her. So then I just type follow-up number 2 and put the date. And then I change my due date to the 18th, and then it's done. It'll automatically keep going and keep going. If she does message you and say, hey, I'm not interested, I'm not ready right now, give me another month or something like that, then you can just come over here and switch your due date to whatever you need to do. You can repeat them if you need to, but I don't do that usually with follow-ups. So that's kind of how I do it. All of my scripts are kept on my Google Drive, so that way they're accessible to me while I'm on my phone, so I can just copy and paste if I need to. But other than that, that's about all Asana does for me as far as follow-ups. The thing I love about it is I can just go into my task list and they're right there. And I know what I need to do on, like, this morning when I pulled up my Asana, I knew that I needed to respond to these people. And so then I could just get it done, and I can just change their due date. I don't have to mess around with a lot of other things. So that's kind of the way it works for me. And if they are, they bought from you, they're in your group, whatever, you could just check them off and then they're deleted. So you won't have to worry about them again. And they're completely off your list. So that's kind of the way I do Asana. I don't know if you guys have any other questions about Asana, but I'm not going into my huge detailed list, but that's kind of what I do.
Yeah, so. I don't want to, because I know that you'll want to talk about this whole thing, but so because I feel like I'm just like, talk about this teeny little piece of something that you can't talk about the big, yeah. So I know it's hard, but I've never used Asana, so I don't know. Do you keep like a contact list in here, or, like when you say I'm going to follow up with Brittany, I mean, is there a way to like click on Brittany and it brings up her email, or do you have that saved in somewhere else?
I don't. I guess. Well, yeah, what I do is when I start a new conversation with someone, is they're on a pen and paper. And then once I send them an invite, or once they message me about my challenge group or something, that's when I plug them into Asana. Until I actually, invite them to somewhere, then it's just really a headache for me, because I have messages that or this thing can get filled up like crazy. And it could be really, really overwhelming to have like 15 conversations and they're all plugged. You need to follow up with this person. So I just make sure that I follow up with them if I invite them. Okay. I guess is the way I go. Is once I invite them and send them, okay, I would really think you'd be interested in this group. Are you interested? That's when I immediately plug them into Asana.
Okay, and then I guess my other question is, I don't remember what it was, I guess. This is I don't use it, so I don't know. This is a website, right?
Yes, it is asana.com.
Okay, and so you log in and that's it. This is the task sheet that it's showing you for your day?
Yes.
Basically your reminders of what to do for the day?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep. And you can do this is kind of the way Asana is. You can do it by project. So you can just click on your follow-ups, go down to your follow-ups and go that way, or you can do them by your due date, which is what I do. So.
And then I guess the only other question I have is, are you using this for everyone that you're talking to, or would you say that these are more kind of your hot prospects where you know that you've invited them and there's some sort of action? They're not just like people that have like liked your photo or something like that, but these are, I would say, like, to me it sounds like they're more like people that are on your to-do list of kind of hot prospects, or am I understanding that wrong? Okay.
Yes, right. Yeah, it's the people that I know are committed and ready to go. Obviously, if they say 30, give me a month, try next month, then I'll plug them in and I'll do them next month. But I don't put anybody that I'm just having a random conversation with.
Cool. Jody, did you want to share yours?
I mean, there's not really much to share. I guess I just each month, I'm not organized like you guys. Yeah, maybe eventually.
You consistently hit Success Club. You're consistently adding coaches, so don't devalue it. I mean, it works.
I know. I'm like literally just started doing like the to-do list and organizing stuff, but I just each month I just make like a contact list on pen and paper of like Instagram people, coach prospects, people who like my health and fitness posts, people who like my coach posts. I add to it as it goes on. A lot of times it's the same people, but there's a few here and there that change. And then each day I just try to like contact 2 of them, and then I just write down the date that I contacted them. And then I'll try to follow up with them, later on in the month. I don't really have like a set day or how many days apart I do it. But like on my to-do list, like once a week I have like a follow-up day. So then, I follow up with them a couple weeks after I first contacted them. It's been working okay. I just started it last month. And I feel like I'm more consistent with my conversations and my follow-ups because I have them written down. And I can just see them. It's quick. I don't have to go searching for people to contact. So I guess that's basically what I do for now. I tried Asana. I like inputted some people in there, and then like I just forget about it because it's not right in my face. I more need to see it than remember to go look at it because I'm like lazy. But yeah.
That's why I got it on my phone, because it will say you have so many things to do today, and I'm like, oh,
yeah,
I need to do it.
My phone's telling me I got to do it. I have to do it. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, the technology doesn't like do it for me because I can just like open it up and then like just forget about it, or the alert goes away, and then I'm like, oh wait, what did I have to do today? So, yeah, hopefully one day I'll be able to like do that all computerized, so it's like easier to maintain. But
no, it's a great system because obviously it's working, and I think that there's so much value in physically being able to like cross a name off a list, like feels good. So
yeah,
that it works. So do you? Well, I guess for you, do you kind of start over every month with that list that you have working with people?
Yeah.
So and I think that's great because you're gauging everybody who's interested that month, and you're working with people that have expressed interest, and you're not wasting your time pulling people that you've talked to 6 months ago. These people are more active. So you are, I guess it's a way for you, the way you're doing it now is a way for you to kind of funnel through the people that are actively interested, more of those hot prospects for you.
Yeah.
Cool. And then do you save any of them? And I'm not trying to put you on spot because I didn't have a system until like 2 months ago either. Do you keep track of all these people anywhere?
No, they're just still like, I just flip the page for the next month or whatever. And I can like obviously go back and look, who I contacted the prior month, but, I don't have anything that tells me like, you haven't talked to this person in a while. But just look it over, or, someday if I don't have anyone to talk to or whatever, I'll go and look at who I talked to last month that never followed up or whatever, never responded.
Cool. Oh, I like it. So I think for everybody that, and Jody's trying to sell herself short with the system, but like I said, it's working. She's consistently getting, top numbers for Success Club. She's hit them at, I think for the past 2 years or whatever, she's hit Success Club 10.
Oh, minus a couple months.
But her system isn't super extensive. Like mine, like I said, track every person you've ever talked to. Christina's saying, talk to the people that are your hot prospects. These are the people you should be engaging with. Jody's system is really telling you, the way she's doing it is she's saying, if these people are liking my posts, if they're engaging with me, I know they're interested and they're watching me. So these are the people I'm going to dedicate my time and my focus to. I'm not going to and the way she's organizing it is how they came to her. If they came to her like page, or they're liking her Instagram posts or whatever, she's categorizing them by that, because it helps her know how she's going to respond to these people. Like we were saying earlier, if someone's talking to you on Snapchat and then you start emailing them, they're going to kind of maybe not even know who you are, or it's going to be weird to them because they're used to seeing your little 15-second videos or your Facebook pictures, and now it's like this formal email that you're typing to them. So it's a way for you to track people on how they've contacted you, how they've noted you. So I think it's a really great system to do that way, because you're not, I don't want to say wasting your time, but you're focusing on people that you know want to talk to you, that are interested in you. So particularly for those of us who are time crunched, who don't have tons of time to go back and do follow-ups, and we want to focus on people that we know are going to get us the most results, her system's great because it's talking to those people first. And then she says she can go back. She has a huge notebook. She can go back, last year. It's there, but she knows she doesn't have to until she reaches a certain point. So that's a great system for people that are more need to move faster. And I think that's all of us. Kylie, do you want to share anything? Does anybody else want to share anything that works for them, that they're struggling with, that they've seen work? Anything?
Nicole, I know you said on yours you don't remove people from your list or whatever. So what happens if they purchase a challenge pack? Do you remove them and put them on a different list, or?
I keep them on there, but I don't, I'll change the follow-up to say follow up with them to I keep them on there just because I don't know what else to do with them at this point. I don't think I've created a system of what to do at that point, but once they become a customer, then I do have another customer spreadsheet. So I know oh, you bought a challenge pack. I want to remind you to cancel your HD or cancel your, so they're on a different system, I guess. I haven't quite figured out the overlap for all of them yet, because I've just started to kind of integrate it. But yeah, I keep them on there because they might order, another program or whatever. But how Christina was saying, she has the challenger ones, but then she also has the coach ones. So maybe once they purchase something or whatever, and now I maybe will start with the coach conversation with them. So they're still on there, but I still am figuring out a way to integrate them. Maybe Christina's figured something out. I don't know. But have you? Anybody?
I have another. On Asana, there's different projects you can do, and one of mine is purchase customers. So I just put them there. All of their information that we talked about, all their dates and all that information in the description still stays with them. So I just basically copy and paste, put it in there, and then you can change your follow-up date to, say they purchased on the 15th. I can remind them on the 5th, FYI, your, HD order is going to come out. This is the way you cancel. This is the way you change your flavor, and things like that. So that's what I have been doing. I haven't quite perfected it quite yet, but that's essentially what I would be doing. So.
Okay, then I'm going to stop the recording. But like I said, we will upload the scripts, I guess, that we use into the team page. Most of these were based off Alexa Campbell. So if you've seen hers before, yeah, we copied her because it works. She's a top coach for a reason. So, we copied and adapted it to our style. So we will share those with you. And I encourage you, if you're going to do the same thing, just adapt it to your style so we don't sound like copy-paste robots. Make it sound true to you and true to your voice. But I will upload those. Christina, Jody can share theirs as well. We're probably pretty similar on what we're talking about, but just speaking from our voice, seeing the variety may help you as well. But thanks for hopping on the call. And if you have any questions about the recording or the topic, just post them in the group.